Hello, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Mary Apollo. Uh, this is a special episode that I do, and I get the inspiration of doing it 4 months ago, but I haven't started because of some circumstance that I went through, and it stopped me from doing it. So, basically, when I think about doing this kind of episode called Tell My Story by Mimere Apollo, I think about my ability and creativity to storytelling and how writing have been an inspiration for me from a long time, from an early age. And it's something that make me breathe, make me alive, and something that I want to continue doing. So in today's episode, I'm just going to talk in general about early inspiration for writing. I haven't prepared in any script, but for me as a writer, there is many things to share. There is many facts that come to my mind when thinking about writing. And the best way of doing it is to writing it in a draft. But I'm not prepared today. I just came. I'm going to share some ideas, and then the rest of it, just I will just add it whenever I remember something. So I love storytelling from childhood. There is a lot of people who are surrounding me who inspire me to a storyteller. First person that have been my inspiration in the story was my grandmother because it's the first person that I met since I was born and the first person who tell me stories. I never remember someone before my grandmother did tell me stories. So she was the first person who will always make stories, cultural stories, stories in history, stories that have been in their community where they used to live and make a living as a woman, as independent woman. And then just take you further when I become a 5 years old, a 6 years old child. She started telling us about, she started telling me, and that time I have a younger brother, about Sudan singer, the revolutions, and how many Sudanese artists, for example, and politicians have participated in the country revolution and the different role that public figure play in different historic time. So this is how I became know more about certain events, historical events, certain people roles in the society. And then the next person is my granddad. My granddad is an amazing person. I remember he had the whole library of book that he have a different book collections from different country. He was a medical assistant and he has his own clinic in the house. So evening hour after we finish from dinner, and then we take shower, me and my brother, and after he finished from his clinic, and then he will come and take me at night to his office and his room where he used to have a huge library in his sitting room. So he will take me there and he will take a book and start reading for me. And he was really amazing person. He has amazing skills in his storytelling. He has an excellent skills. So I remember, yeah, books like David Copperfield, Treasure Islands, all these stories from childhood that he have told me. And after we finish from the story, he will ask me questions about just to experience more my imagination and ability, my ability to critical thinking and storytelling. And I think that that has developed my storytelling skills. And then after that, we'll go outside to where we have our bed in outside in the yard. We listened to Radio Monte Carlo, and although I remembered all these amazing programs that was there last that time, and also they used to have an educational English programs. So when I think about all these details and think about translating them into a script, I think about writing them in a draft and have a book out of it. Also, the third person is my mom. She's also one of the main reasons that inspired me to storytelling. She used to tell a lot of stories in our childhood, and she bought me a lot of books when I was a child, when I was a kid, to read. But for her, the reading was just something more to make me more academically like an excellent student, not because not something to develop my storytelling skills. She just want me to be more academically achieve students, have the person who is good like in that area. So she bring for me a lot of books, and I used to read it every time. Books like the Three Sisters, the Fox, and the Hen, and also she used to tell a lot of stories at night. So with me and my siblings, and that time, the rainy season, and where we used to live and our house, and sometimes the power went off. And then we continue doing our stories, and we write letters for different people. We write letters for our relatives, for my dad as well. So that also developed my storytelling skills, and this is something I want to add into my writing journey. Take you further to that. I have auntie also who used to read a lot of stories. One of them who used to be my mentor. And yeah, one day, like mostly when my mom go to university, she will come and sit with me and help me in doing homeworks when mom was far away. So one day she told me, when you grow up, you will be a writer. I think, yeah, because I used to read a lot of comprehension that time and writing, also writing, what is it called? Writing stories. So she saw that potential for me since an early age. And then dad also, he was a great storyteller when it comes to his storytelling, sharing about his life experience when in different stages, when he was a kid, when he was in a secondary school student, and also when he went to the college, and when he joined the army. So he used to tell us different kind type of stories in his lifehood. So that also give me an inspiration and push me to become a storyteller. Many things that I want to share. Primary school. I remember the first day when I went to school. I was that naughty kid. Uh, my passion wasn't just to go and sit on the table. I'm an observer, a good observer from an early age. So I go to school to watch kids, to watch what they are doing, and the teacher, and also the what is happening around the schoolyard. Yeah, and then transfer all this into the paper and tell people what happened. After I go home, I tell them, oh, this happened, that happened, and then describe things perfectly, like in detail. So uh, they more like in second, mostly in primary school. When I went to class 4, I used to have a teacher, an amazing Arabic teacher, who always tell us a story, and she's one of the great inspiration for, in my life when it comes to storytelling. She teach us a lot of stories, and in class 4, I really become an advanced student uh, compared to my age mates who were in class. There was many amazing stories like the good and the bad person. And I remember when I travel in holidays, I used to go outside the town and meet some of my relatives, and I share with them these stories. So a lot of them, I was the youngest, and a lot of them were inspired of my ability in storytelling, of how much great stories that I have. I had that time, and they used to compare me with others who doesn't have that skills. So they will call me every evening, Mary, come and tell us a story, one of your good stories. So I used to go there and tell them stories. So then when I go to class five, six, then here more, I start writing articles, 7 articles, stories. I get that an inspiration of just expressing my feeling, my personal feeling, and how I feel about the world, whom I want to get involved in my life, my expectation for life itself, how I want to feel, and this kind of things. Going back then, literature was one of the main, let me say that subject that have helped me also to grow up my knowledge in storytelling. And I used to read a lot of literature. We read a lot of literature. Little Girl, David Copperfield, Cry the Bluff Country, Miss Harris. In secondary school, then third grade, when I was taking exam to university, this is the time really when I sit down and I start writing draft stories. At the time, right, when I don't know without any professional way, and then it turned out I kept that kind of writing I'm doing, not that I keep notebook. I just write what I have until I went to the university. And then one day I took my notebook with me to the university, and then one of my colleagues, she read it, and then she said, "Oh, this is really nice." And at that time, I was with the people in university community. So at that time, me go. I kept that man and spread that script for and show it to anyone workshop that can help me really write my stories and publish it. But unfortunately, I haven't done it because I was busy with more academic work, assessment, and then the pressure that I get from my family, the society. As a girl, you have to do a specific role. You are supposed to go from a place to another, from university to home, from home to university to do specific thing. But I still that time, it was one of my great skills that I do, and I feel comfortable doing it. The second thing is that the environment surrounding after I graduated, I want to be volunteering, and then I want to write a story. I remember, and I went to the newspaper and I told them that I have some stories, I want to publish it. And then they told me, yeah, you can do that. I said, I really want to learn how to do writing. And this is when I went and then we trained as a journalist in the fields. I know how to write news reports. That time developed my career skills into writing, but I also haven't done the the creative writing. One day I took it to one of my mentor. He just died in 2011. He looked at the script and then he started telling me how to improve it, what to write, what not to write. And then from there, I kept that script also. Um, I remember taking that script to many people and sending it to many people, and they just gave me their observation on it. So in the US, I came in 2016. At that time, I have many collections that I went digitally and I wrote in my computer, my first Toshiba computer, and then I just saved them. I remember at the point where I lost all the document I have in the computer, and I have to remember what I have wrote before again. So I came to the US in November 2016 when it was winter and when it was cold. And then I was trying to look online and find out about writing workshop. and writing opportunities because I was doing a leadership training. So the first thing I found that there is a competition for writers by Marito Golden for public school, and I just go the competition say memoir writing, tell your stories. I remember I submit my story. The second story that it was one of the third story, the first stories that I wrote. It's called My Cousin Vanessa. When I talk about my one of my cousins, who's a nice sister to me, and also the story itself talk about discrimination and racism and how this South Sudanese struggle was at that time hard in Sudan, and how it was hard for them to become first class citizens and a lot of things. So I wrote that story. My writing skills wasn't good when it comes to grammar and when it comes to to grammar specifically. Then I submitted and then I got selected. And then it was a great experience. I went to the writing workshop. I studied a lot of things. And then when I talked to Marita Gold, I said, Marita, I want to do a master in creative writing. And then she told me, you already a writer. You write fiction. So what I advise you to do, just take the advanced grammar course, and then you will start writing. Because you have a lot of stories to tell. So don't waste your time for the master degree. So when there, like things always, I get busy. Things always drive me from something to another, and I'm the one of the people who have multiple skills. I have many skills and talent that I do. And when it comes to me, sometimes I leave an area and focus in another and try to do more in what I like. So I started an episode in 2020 to interview people. I start by women who tell me their personal stories and how they make success into leadership. And then I just start publishing them in my YouTube channel, and I put them all together. And then from there, whenever I talk to the woman and interview her, and then also some of them become mentors. I became their mentors, and I help them to develop their leadership quality. So when the first result of that I saw, it was helping them, I said I should continue doing it, and I'm still continue doing bringing people to tell their stories. Maybe one day it will turn to something else. So in inspiration, and when I talk about storytelling, a lot of things has inspired me since childhood. Nature, walking, traveling, visiting people, learning different languages, reading books, like a lot of things. Go to cultural event, meet people from different background. Also, many, there is many people in my life whom I still appreciate them, and I want to tell their stories one by one. One of them is my grandmother, my mother, some friends, some mentors, amazing people who have helped me. Uh, Storytelling is the feeling that I used to get whenever I walk in the neighborhood when I was a 6 years old child. I experienced the nature, the trees that were around, surrounded us where we used to live, the sheep that were traveling from a place to another. And also people who are looking to cultivate and harvest in different season. When the tomato is ready, they go to the field, they go and harvest the vegetables and everything. Also, I used to go hunting with my dad in the evening hours with him and his colleagues after they come from work. I traveled to see my grandmother and the mango trees in their house where I used to sit. And also, I remember the lemon tree, the green lemon tree, where we used to sit most of the time because it has so much like shade, is a has this heavy shade. So we used to sit in that lemon tree. It gave us shelter. It give us, we get this, I get the sense of belonging. We'll be happy there. And the guava tree, whenever it's ready, go up to the tree and take some guava, and then the pomegranate tree, all this amazing experience. And also the river Nile, that was just walking distance back from our house. We walk like 2 minutes, and we take our dog there in the evening with my sibling. The Catholic Church in Madani, where we used to go, and the rings, the pastor in the Catholic Church, the movement of the people during the Sunday nights, also everything, the friends who used to visit us, the cultural and also the social gathering that we have in the house every weekend from different friends of the family part. A lot of memories that friends that I met in the university, friends that I met when I traveled, when I came to the US, uh, when went to different countries, Kenya, Egypt, my childhood in Khartoum, when I went to study mass communication with the passion that I will become a TV person. And also when I study language and French because I want to read the French literature. Yeah, so different things, different challenges that in my childhood, a lot of women who have been share their stories with my grandmom to give them solutions. So all these stories have been in my mind and keep inspiring me day by day. Yeah, then women also who used to suffer in the market in Sudan to survive and provide for their families. A lot of stories. Women who were in court in the South Sudan, women who have abuse cases in the South Sudanese court, and they go to the court to seek justice, and the justice is always against them. Yeah, so this is many stories that I have in mind. Um, Many things that I want to do. I remember one of my great mentor, Ambassador Fude, before he died and before I get the leadership award, he once told me, "You have to start doing it now. You don't know what will happen to me tomorrow. What will happen to me tomorrow?" I remember I started a project, and that it is still a draft, and something have just stopped me from doing it. But Ambassador Malik, he once tell me, like, do it, and I will be helping you. So having in my life those kind of people who inspire me and also mentor me and keep pushing me to the next level because they believe in me, they believe in my ability. My friends, I have an amazing friends, Mamsi, who just tell me like, you have so much talent, and he just empower me. He's one of the reason actually why I'm back and I continue do what I'm doing. So that kind of conversation we have together has totally changed my life. So thank you so much, Imamsi, an amazing, really DRC brother. Many things to come. I will keep sharing. I will keep telling more stories. This is just the beginning that I'm starting these projects of my story. Each show every week, I will be sharing a different things, a different experience from my childhood, from my adulthood, and compare the two period together, and then come up with recommendations of what people should do, what leaders should do, and how they should develop their own personal skills, and how they can bring this talent out, and also what the elder generation can do for us as leaders to help us. Yeah, it's a collective action, but you yourself, you only know your talent, you know your skills. I'm one of the people actually who have that the skills of bringing the creativity out of others. So, and this is one of the reasons that I'm doing it. So, meet you again in the next episode. Thank you, Howard. Bye.